Okay, this is the 20th New York State Militia at Gettysburg on Gettysburg Battlefield Facebook. And while the rest of the regiment is back on McPherson's Ridge, now hidden from sight, Captain Ambrose Baldwin and his 38 men from Company K are now trudging forward toward the Emanuel Harmon farm just to the north side of John Herbst's farmhouse and barn. Of course, that barn would be burnt later the day. Ambrose Baldwin and these 38 men of Company K had just previously marched across this very field when they crossed Willoughby Run for the third time and headed toward McPherson's Ridge. When they got onto the east bank of Willoughby Run, they heard and seen the enemy skirmish fire. So now this one company of men who was ordered back to seize the Harmon farm buildings, it must have been a very daunting task for this captain and these brave men to go right into the line of fire, knowing what they were about to come upon. Yet an order was an order, and when the order was given, Captain Ambrose Baldwin gladly accepted the challenge. And today, as we head here to this tree line is in front of us, just beyond that tree line is Willoughby Run. We are on the eastern bank of Willoughby Run, and again, just to the north side of the John Herbst farm. I do want to mention that I met the folks today who live at the Herbst farm, and they were very friendly and welcoming to me doing videos on their property. Pretty much gave me free will to walk around, and I want to thank Bob and Jane for that. And we are here arriving at Willoughby Run. We'll take this video back up in a few minutes as we get closer to Willoughby Run. This has been our next part on the 20th New York State Militia at Gettysburg on Gettysburg Battlefield Facebook. Hey, this is our next part in the 20th New York State Militia at Gettysburg on Gettysburg Battlefield Facebook. Now, amongst those that had advanced forward with Baldwin was Private Alexander Tice, who earlier in our video series and along his march had a premonition of his own death during his march. As the men hurried toward Willoughby Run, they were greeted by shrapnel, cannonballs, and whistling mini-balls in the air. They reached the dip of Willoughby Run, just here in the distance, coming from this direction. They reached the dip and had a brief moment of safety where Baldwin regrouped his men before crossing the run and advancing on the Keystone Mill Road to the Emanuel Harmon farm. The order to advance was given, and coming out of the ravine, they were again under heavy and severe fire as the Harmon farm came into sight. Just a few yards, and men would be wounded. We will pick this up in our next part of the 20th New York State Militia at Gettysburg on Gettysburg Battlefield Facebook. Okay, this is going to be the 20th New York State Militia at Gettysburg on Gettysburg Battlefield Facebook. And we are on the west side of Willoughby Run, which you can see here in the distance. Over here, you can actually see the roof of the John Herbst barn. And again, Private Alexander Tice, along with Baldwin's men, began, after crossing the run, and they had received safety for a brief moment, but after they crossed the run, the order to advance was given. And this is the advance, the route of advance toward the Emanuel Harmon farm by Company K of the 20th New York State Militia under the command of Captain Ambrose Baldwin. As these men walked and hurried where I'm walking right now. 152 years ago, they were not walking along a peaceful white road as I am today with birds chirping and a light rain falling. They were under intense fire of cannon and minie-ball. The order for advance was given, and coming out of the ravine behind us, they see the fortress known as the Emanuel Harmon Farm, a 2-story brick house that sat right up here. It sat right along the Mill Road, and just yards from the Harmon house, as they were under fire, Private Alexander Tice, probably right about here, because the Harmon Farm sat right here where this tree is, next to this house, and this is literally yards. Today it would be 155 Old Mill Road. Right around this area, probably right here, Alexander Tice, who we've talked about in so many of the videos, was struck in the chest by a minie-ball, and he was killed. His premonition of death came to life. Of course, the Emanuel Harmon Farm